Okay, hello everybody. Well, actually, hello and hi. See what I did there? Okay, I'm outside on my back deck, like by the pool today. My kids are getting ready for school. They're working on their bedrooms. There's lots of noises going on in my house, but I wanted to make sure we got a little tutorial in for today. So really the tutorial is the 3 apples with dots and with the shadow underneath, and you can see that on both of them. If I get rid of this, you can see this whole line of apples. It's so cute. But in order to sort of do this design and keep with our 3" by 3" square that we've been using, I decided, what if we do 3 on the bottom and give you space for a message? I also thought this might be nice with back to school time, or if you have any friends who are teachers, you know, just a little cute message or a little note card or something. This is a design that you could use. So the supplies that we're going to need for today are just a regular old pencil. This is a kneaded eraser. You see it's kind of squishy like this. It just doesn't leave any shavings on your paper, so it's kind of awesome for that. And this is 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. I have got the Canson brand. I have got a size 10 round watercolor brush. It's great because it has the tip of the brush here and also the belly of the brush, which holds the water, so that's great. I have a felt tip black pen, but you could use any black pen since this is going on after our watercolors are fully dry. Here is, excuse me, here is the watercolor set that I'll be using, and I can link this one below. It's the one I always use because I love it. I've got some water. This is like a little collapsible watercolor water jar for kind of for travel. And then a towel. I like to use a regular towel, but you can use paper towel as well, and that is all we need for today. So for now, we just need pencil and eraser. Let me zoom in for you. We're gonna see some sunshine on our little screen here today, I think. I'm gonna try to leave both of these up here because you see there's all these shapes are wonky. They're not exactly apple, they're apple-ish, and that's all we need, that's all we care about. But let's just observe them for a minute. I think this is the most apple shape of them all. And you can see it's slightly wider at the top than the bottom. It dips a little bit at the top, just a little slight curve in. It comes up in the center, sort of like, what is that, a Red Delicious maybe? So that's a very apple-ish shape. This one I made more narrow on purpose. This is very boxy with just curved corners, and them being different is what makes them cute. This one's wider at the top than the bottom, but you see all we need is some straight lines and some curved lines and something that looks kind of like an apple, and we're gonna get there. So let's see, this is about the size of, you know, this top portion of my finger. Let's put my thumb there and see. Yeah, it's a little bigger than your thumbnail, you know? And I'm gonna start, always I like to say this, press lightly with your pencil. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, because if you don't like your shape, you can erase it. And on this one, I wanna just sort of, we're pressing lightly. That means you're gonna erase it if you don't like it. I mean it, just don't worry, okay? We're gonna come up, curve the corner, dip in a little bit, curve it again. That's almost, I don't know, it's just a nice wave, right? Curve that corner and come down. I angled it inward. I'm gonna give it a little curve up here and look at it like this. This looks like a tooth or something, doesn't it? But, well, I think the only change I'll make is I'll just make that a slightly smaller curve. I'll get out my eraser and adjust this. I hope I don't have to clear my throat or cough a lot today, but I was sick. I really think it was COVID, but I tested negative, so I don't know. It's been 3 weeks, can you believe that? So we've got this, and then for all of them, we'll be taking a line and just curving it out in a way. You can start it down here or at the top, that's up to you. Let's do the one next to it, and I say let's do, I mean, you do what you want. I'll put them all here so you can see them. But like this one to me just works. It's a little wider at the top. See, I dipped it again. I'm gonna curve these sides. You could even put the bottom right here first if you want to, and then all you have to do is like curve this and connect them. Curve it and connect them. So we've got straight lines and curves both. If you put this down and you're like, ooh, hate it, you just adjust it, no big deal. Okay, and then this one over here I like tipped, and for some reason I like it tipped going inward, but you absolutely could tip it where the stem's on the other side. And I leave a little bit of space, so you really could put this stem in first if you want to make sure you leave space for it. And then I'm gonna turn this into sort of this boxy, curvy thing, and I'm gonna look at it and see, does that look like an apple? No, I probably need to pull this part up. But I wanted to leave it like that so you could see, just start with something. Let it start out wonky. And then we'll just do some little adjustments and we'll get there. I still don't like that. I'm gonna erase it one more time. So you do the same. Get these little shapes on there. I say kind of go loose at them. Sorry, the wiggle. Every time I move the table, it's wiggling the camera for you. I'm sorry. Okay, another stem. I just took it lower this time, up and away, just some sort of a curve. And then I'd say, let's say for 2 of them, let's add a little leaf. Now the leaf is gonna start either at the stem or at the base of the stem. That's up to you. This time I'll put it over here. I'm curving out and away, a little straight line, and curve it back. It does not matter what leaf shape you do today, so I don't want you to worry about that. A leaf is a leaf. And once we put green on it, it's even more of a leaf. Okay, I just erased the line that went through my leaf. If the leaf is on top, there shouldn't be a line going through it, okay? And that's it. Hopefully you can see this one's kind of simple today, and it's not supposed to be fancy. It's just these little cutie shapes. And I want you to look at yours, see if you like it. If you need to erase anything, like I could erase this. Do you see I've got this corner? It's just a little sharp, I guess. I need to kind of adjust it, and I'll do that now. Once we get in with our watercolor paints, we cannot erase our pencil if it's covering, if the watercolor paint is covering our pencil. So we'll erase anything we don't want to see. I'm going to move my pencil and eraser out of the way now. And I'm going to pull over my paints, and I'm going to get out my paintbrush. And I want to start by, we're going to make up some little puddles. And you can pick any colors you want. You see, these are non-traditional apple colors, but the one thing I did leave in just to kind of keep it apple-y looking is this color, and that's like a light yellowish green. So let's start with that one. I'm gonna dip my brush into my water, and then, okay, you might not have this many colors, so I'm gonna kind of talk to you in 2 ways. If you've got these ones, you can start with this lemon yellow here and add some green. Okay, if you don't, any kind of yellow and green. And then what I need you to know, I'm already cleaning my brush out right now and adding water because it was darker than I wanted. So in watercolor, we get our colors lighter by adding water. And I'm cleaning my brush again and adding water. And I'm gonna add some more yellow. I just want you to play with this color and see if it looks like you want. You actually don't need as much water as I have here. I just kept adding it to lighten it, but just a little puddle of some sort of light green color. And oh, there we go. I gave myself 2 choices. So I've got a darker green and a lighter one. You can have as many puddles as you want, and you don't have to use them, you know? Okay, so we've got those 2, and I'm gonna go for, I love this color right here. To me, this is like a red with a little bit of orange in it. So I'm just gonna play. You see, I got my brush wet. I grabbed some red, grabbed a little bit of this darker orange and put it out there. If it is too dark, you're gonna add water to it. And if like it's a little bit too red, I'll add a little bit of orange. So my husband just saw me doing this out the window, and he's taking a picture or something silly. Okay, I turned it red again, but just play with it until you like it. And that's really, and like we said before, if you want 2 puddles, you can make 2 puddles. I cleaned my brush out. We're gonna get our pigment out of there every time we're switching colors, and I do like some sort of blue. I think I'll go for this more teal color, and this one is a blue and a green together. So use what set you have. If you've got this one, I'm gonna do the 4th green up from the bottom right and the 4th one down from the top center. And I'm adding some water to that to make sure I like it. We don't want it to get too dark though, because one thing we are gonna do in this one is we're gonna do a light color first and it'll be fully dry, and we'll add the dots later. And that's important because otherwise they'll just sort of disperse or get all fuzzy. So our lighter colors are what we're mixing right now. I'm just gonna show you how I got this color too. I love that color. It's a purple and a pink. If you've got this palette, it's the bottom center and the top left. But if you do not, then some sort of purple and a pink, or a purple with some red, and then add water. My husband is still over there. That's funny. Okay, a purple and a pink together, and I really like that color, so I'm gonna leave it. And these puddles are tiny, that's all you need. So we've got our puddles mixed. I'm gonna clean out my brush, and I'm gonna set it down for a minute. I'm moving this out of the way. We'll zoom on in. You don't have to write hello or hi. It can be anything. That's totally up to you. But for now, actually, I think we can do both at the same time. Here we go. For now, I am going to start with this bright green color and fill in this center. So the tip of your brush runs along the edge, and you can lean into the belly of your brush. So see, tip along the edge, but you know, you can press on it when you're in the center because we want this whole thing filled in. Now, if you look at it, we want to see the light reflecting. Can you see that? This is almost maybe too much. I could take a little bit of this off by cleaning my brush and drying it and touching it, right? But it needs to have the light reflecting still. Now I want that darker. You see what I mean? It feels like it got light. I can actually just real quick go over the whole thing again. But any excess where it's puddling or pooling, I can just touch my brush to my towel. And now I'm going to go in. This is where we took from our puddles. We're gonna go right into our paint and grab a darker green color. I did not add any water. I just went like this. Grabbed a little bit more paint, and you can look at this one, or you can just make up where there might be a shadow. Anything to make it look round. So maybe if it was here a little bit, maybe a little bit up at this top. You can go on the side if you want, or you can just do bottom and right side. Does not matter, and we're gonna let it dry. It requires giving up control because we don't know exactly what that's gonna look like, but it's gonna look cool, okay? I'm gonna get closer again so we can kind of see even better. I think let's get into that red color. I really liked it. And I'm gonna do it over on this side. So I got my brush into that puddle that we created. Now I'm gonna fill in this whole thing. This is very light, but I really like it that way, so I'm gonna leave it. I don't want it puddling or pooling, so if it does, I'll touch my brush to my towel, maybe lift up a little bit of that. Then I'll go right into my paint, not adding any water to my brush, and I'm gonna add a little bit like this. Same thing again, maybe just the one side this time, and that's okay. And I'm gonna just let it be. Now, if you wanted to, you could clean your brush and dry it, and you could take your brush and you could kind of blend between the two. I just don't want to. I'd like to see what watercolor does on its own. So I'm gonna let the water pull it versus me blending it myself. And we need a third color. I'm gonna do the teal, I like it. So grabbing into the puddle that we made, and mine's right here. Same thing again. The tip of your brush has to go along the edges in order to get a clean shape. So make sure you run your brush all the way along that pencil line. This should all still be wet. If it's not reflective, you won't be getting this effect. You'll probably end up frustrating, right? So I think I said frustrating, but I mean frustrated. So here we're gonna go kind of bottom and right for it. I'm adding this right in, just the idea of a shadow, and I'm gonna let it be. And that's it for that first layer. So at this point, I just realized I did not bring a dryer out here, so I'm gonna sit and let it dry. Once this layer is fully dry and you don't see the light reflecting on it, we'll move on to the next steps. If you're ever just sitting waiting for one of these to dry, I just think it's a good time to make another one and just do more art while it dries. So when it's fully dry, you shouldn't see the light reflecting, but if you look, I can see the light reflecting a little bit, but not near my leaves. So I'm gonna be careful not to touch anything. We're gonna do the leaves. So I want you to pick some kind of a green color. You'll notice on both of these, I did a darker green, but whatever you like works. But in this case, and we didn't make our puddle for this yet, so let's do it now. We need a tiny bit of water. So I suggest you take your brush, clean it in your water jar. Here, let's see if I can show you. Clean it in your water jar, right? Dry it on your towel. Dry it on your towel. Then take it and dip just the tip of your brush into your water, and then let's get some kind of a green. For me, I will choose this one. It's kind of a bluish green. And notice I am just swiping a little bit. I need a very tiny puddle. I'm gonna zoom in and show you this guy. He's little. See this? I can move it around. I maybe could add the teeniest bit. I'll put one tip of my brush into the water and come back. But what I want to show you is you really want control for these tight spaces, because look how small this is. And this is a big brush, right? So now I'm going to go very light on the tip of my brush. Okay, and I'm going to hold my brush pretty vertical, because if I tip my brush on an angle, it's going to be an even wider tip. Now, if you have little tiny brushes at home, grab them. But I don't. I really do just paint with pretty much the one brush, so. We're just filling in these two little leaves and letting them be. I think let's do the stems with the pen. So we'll wait on that. Now I really do need this to be dry. Darn it. Usually I just have a little dryer and I can dry it, but I think I'm gonna start with the green. This one's drying still, so I'll wait. What we're gonna do here is the same concept where we need this teeny tiny bit of paint because we want a darker color. And for the green, I'm going to just grab some kind of green, make a tiny puddle, and it should just be a little bit darker than what I have here. Better lighten mine up. There we go. And I like to do the dots where there is a shadow. So where you already put the darker color. So somewhere over here, dot, 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 dot. And notice this is not perfect dots. I don't care. You don't need to either. A couple dots over here and I'm done. Isn't that cute? It's just simple. That's all you need for this. I'm going to clean out my brush. Dry it on my towel. Same thing again. I need a puddle. I maybe can use the puddle I just made for the leaves too. Just need a little puddle that's darker than what I had. So I'll do it here. I want this tip of my brush to stay kind of pointed, so there we go. You can twist it around sometimes. And then here, dot, dot, just where it's darker. Let's try to stay within that limit, and we're done. So this one is dry, perfect timing. I will make my tiny puddle for this one, really small. And it's small because, think about it, a drop of water is bigger than what we want, right? So you've got to really control that water to get these tiny things painted. I'm zooming in. Okay, oh goodness. And we're just gonna pop some of these in. Notice I'm just touching and pulling my brush the tiniest bit. These imperfect circles are all we need. And from here, we're gonna move on to our, oh, you know what? I almost forgot the shadow. Wouldn't you have been so mad at me? Okay, see the little shadow under each of them? I think it's really cute. And all that is a little swipe of gray paint. The way I like to get gray is over here near my black. This is usually dirty, and I grab some of that. But if you don't have that, it's water plus black paint. So once again, the tip of your brush, because we just need a little bit. I'm grabbing some black paint, or you could do brown. You could mix brown and blue and just test it out here, because you don't want it super dark. We want just this medium, okay? So I'll take my brush and I'm gonna run it in this little line underneath. That's it. Oh, you didn't even see it, sorry. I'm gonna do it again, same thing here. Run it in this little line under that apple, and that's it. It's just the idea of a shadow. It's simple, okay? And we're gonna make sure we touch the apple with our brush. We wanna make sure there's no space between the apple and the shadow. Even here, I'll grab that little tiny space. There we go. And from here, you do need to let everything dry, and you can use your pen and outline. So if you wanted to be done, you could be done. If you wanted to write something like hello or hi, you can do that with a pencil first and then do it with ink over. I'm gonna let this dry. Oops, so I'm not gonna touch it. But up here, if I wanted to write words, if you want to do the little hello, I say try not to hesitate is the only thing, and try to just do it with pencil really lightly first. I like to make sure there's equal space on either side of the word and that the word stays kind of straight. You could even take a pencil and draw a little line first, right? I'm not going to today, but absolutely you could. And if so, see how I've got these two lined up? I could just use my other paper to do it. But I'm gonna just kind of swoop up and down The thing I like about this is the E. So when I come up to the E, I pause and turn it sideways, back down. Swoop all the way up, and try not to hesitate. I think that helps. Think of it like very sing-song. Hello. If you don't like this, erase it. That's why we're doing it with a pencil. Okay, so I don't like this one quite as much as that one, and I think it's the H. Okay, so quick little erase. But what I want you to see is that in a lot of artwork, we do pencil first and we erase, then we do ink over it. Later on, if it's fully dry and you know it's not going to smear the ink, you can erase that pencil from underneath. So we're looking, I think our shadows are dry. I'm going to take this. This is a felt tip pen. I'm going to go right over these apples. So I want to do the stem, and the stem I'm going to add just a little rounded part right at the top. Then I'm going to go exactly over my pencil lines because I know they're kind of covered by watercolor paint, and so I can't really erase them. So I want to go exactly over what I did, and then you won't see it. And that's the same thing for the hello. If you decide to do it up top, if you just go right over your pencil, you might not really need to erase it, but that's up to you. We are just tracing over these pencil lines. Almost done. I think I made this apple a little wonkier, but who cares, right? It's just a cute little note. Maybe you're gonna give to somebody. Maybe you're gonna put it in your kid's lunchbox. Actually, look, I'm gonna stray from what I did because I didn't like the pencil perfectly. And I can do that too. Make sure this is fully dry. And I'm gonna do that by actually, look, I'll take this piece of paper and set it on there and just press. Yep, it was already dry. And then I'll take my kneaded eraser. But what I want to tell you is if you didn't use a felt tip pen, be so careful with this. Just make sure your ink is dry. I mean, you could wait till tomorrow and erase this, but you can smear. In fact, I'll show you. See that? That's just smeared from me erasing while the ink was not dry. So I switched my type of pen to do this. And we did it. It's cute, right? So you can give a little note to your kid's teacher, something in a lunchbox, send something to a friend you haven't seen in a while. If you like little tiny watercolor tutorials, I've got lots more on this page, but also I think you can like ring a bell and get more notifications, but for sure subscribe, and I'll post another video next Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day.